What's up, peeps? It's your boy CJ, and today we're reviewing the Vario 1945 D12 Dirty Dozen Homage. Let's get into it. So here we have the Vario 1945 D12 Dirty Dozen Field Watch. Let's get some housekeeping out the way. Alright, so the D12 features a 316L stainless steel case, 37mm in case size, a case thickness of 10.5mm, and a lug-to-lug of 45mm. The welcome lug width is 18mm, and the watch features bi-lume, which is C3 Luminova, as well as BGW9. It also has an empty case back with the option of additional engraving, and a Miyota A2 S5 movement and 100 meters water resistance. It also has an additional screw-down crown. And the price of this bad boy is $553 USD, which is 837 Australian dollars. So how does the D12 wear? Well, it's safe to say incredibly comfortable. This beautiful, supple leather strap provides incredible comfort, and then the case size and those short lug to lugs, as well as the curve on those lugs, provides incredible comfort. The look of this watch with that size of the 37mm case really brings you back to that sort of field watch aesthetic. Something that's just neat, gets the job done, no fuss. And I love how simple yet textured that dial is, with a very subtle and hidden Vario logo. A nice matte or bead blasted portion of the sub dial with the seconds really stands out, while also being muted and blended into the background of the dial. Something I quite like. So let's talk legibility. So the Vario, being that it's a field watch, the D12 is extremely legible. The beautiful white indices or hour markers, as well as the pointed 3, 6, 9, and 12 really stand out with their shape. And then you got that minute track, as well as those lume pips on the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. They really just pop. It's a high contrast look that you find quite often on field watches, but it's something that definitely stands out and lets you read the time very quickly. Let's check out that lume, shall we? As you can see, this is already beaming. And let's turn off these lights. Alright, so the lume on the D12 is excellent. It is quite bright in here still, even with the studio lights off, but you can clearly see that that is really popping there. Very don't skimp out when it comes to lume, which is something I quite appreciate. And you can definitely rely on this during the nighttime. I mean, look at that. Come on. Bi-lume as well, which is just so good. Okay, so being that this is a field watch, normally there's not too much to talk about in terms of features or specs and what the watch offers. Vario have clearly gone out of their way to provide something different than the norm. This beautiful textured dial really provides that sort of warlike feature, if you get me. I love the addition of the Vario logo being sort of etched in or stamped on that textured dial. Almost reminds me of a boot print in the mud, if you will. That lovely sort of sunburst inner portion of the second subdial, as well as those concentric circles running through the seconds, is a nice little touch that gives the dial some depth, as well as some layering. Even though these indices are printed, I love the fact that they're quite thick, giving it that sort of illusion that it is pied indices. Let's talk about these finishing on the case. This bezel with that high polish and then the concentric brushing on top really exudes some quality that is quite missed on a lot of field watches. And then you got that step running with that high chamfer of polish and then back onto some brushing. Now let's talk about the sign crown. I mean, Vario do such a good job with the logo on the sign crown. It's just a nice little touch that quite often you don't see. And in between the lugs even, you can see that nice vertical brushing. And it's just a beautiful look. And then the case back. I mean, that beautiful engraving of a soldier, really reminiscing this sort of war vibe or aesthetic, amplifying that sort of look that you would go for when wearing a field watch. I love that it's got the simple sort of specs at the back with the water resistance as well as a sapphire. And overall, an incredibly beautiful watch. The strap is really, really nice. Quite often, you will get a watch on a strap like this, and the strap won't match the sort of feel of the watch. And I think it gives that sort of rugged look because of the gray color, the matching gray color with the dial. But it also feels quality and smooth. That makes it very comfortable, because a lot of the time things of this nature will be quite harsh. And then you got the simple yet beautiful signed buckle on the top. All right, so pros and cons and final thoughts. So with the D-12, I'm almost loving every little aspect of this watch, from the choice of finishing on the case to the actual dial texture, because I'm a sucker for texture. I love the very subtle and almost hidden Vario logo, the lume, the sub-seconds at 6. It's almost a home run for me. The screw down crown, the positioning of the crown, everything is almost perfect. If I was to be critical, I would say that it would be great to have this at a bigger size. You know, while most of us love that sweet spot of 38 to 42, and as much as this is period correct when it comes to the Dirty Dozen sort of series of watches, of field watches that they're trying to, you know, exude some inspiration from, I feel like most people are going to want something slightly larger. And so for me, anywhere between 38 and 40, 42 would be pushing it, would be a perfect sort of fit or size for it. The only other negative would be the price. The price of $553 US with that 8 series movement is a bit pushing it. Even though the features of the watch when it comes to finishing and the quality of the build is high and up there, I do feel like it's asking for a tad bit too much when there are watches out there you could get something easily highly spec'd with a similar look, especially when it comes to field watches. So that's my take. Well, there you have it, the Dirty Dozen homage by Vario. Safe to say they've done it again. Really keen to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about field watches. What's your opinion on them? What brands do them better than others? What do you want to see in the future of field watches? Really interested. Let's talk. And again, don't forget to watch out.